Hey! Hi! So this is going to be my October vlog. It's been several years since I made a YouTube video. Going through a weird transition point in my life right now, so I thought it'd be kind of, I don't know, cool to start making art vlogs again. But let's start with a little introduction because I'm rebuilding my YouTube channel. My name's Amy. I am an artist. I paint using mainly gouache and acrylic. I'm kind of starting to dabble into oils, but haven't had a lot of practice with them yet. I mainly do landscape paintings. Love painting the ocean and pirate ships and stuff like that. I recently quit my job to focus on my art full-time, and then my life took some other serious changes where I had to move, and I had to pack my entire life up and move far away from, not so far, but far away from everything I kind of knew. So this vlog will have the last bits of living where I lived and some moving, and that's kind of it. I'm not so great at talking when I'm filming yet, so most of this video will just be like music or maybe a voiceover, but I hope to get better about speaking while I'm actually filming, so look forward to that. So October was a crazy month for me, both just like schedule-wise and emotionally. It was a lot of like digging myself out of a very deep depression and just kind of figuring out what my life was going to be now that I didn't have a full-time job or a partner or the life I had known for the past 3 years. It was all a big change and it was scary, but you know, sometimes you have to go through with that. And I guess that kind of makes it a cool month to have documented for a vlog, because I can always look back at it and see how much I've grown and how far I've come from how low I was. So my first long-term relationship ended in August, but our lease didn't end until October, which meant October was full of a bunch of moving for me. And like, moving is hard in general, but when you're also moving because of heartbreak, it's even harder. So a lot of my moving process ended up being just kind of standing in rooms and staring at things for a while, because I mean, you know, I attach emotional value to everything I come across, and this apartment was full of 3 years of relationship and building a life, and I had to take it all apart and pack it up in boxes, and it was hard. But at the beginning of October, when I wasn't packing up my life, I was getting ready for a in-person art market. It was going to be my second one ever and my first one in 2 years, so I was really excited for it. It was also going to be my first big thing since taking my art professionally, so I kind of was hoping for it to go well. Spoiler alert, it did not. I put so many hours into printing off prints and trimming the prints and stamping my logo on the back and signing the back and painting paintings and varnishing paintings and figuring out my setup, and I bought a tent and tables to have a nice setup, and I was so excited. I thought it was going to go so well. It unfortunately didn't, but I can't take it too hard, too personally, because it kind of didn't go well for any of the vendors. We all kind of had a bad day. But I still took it a little hard, because my first big professional art thing, and it didn't go well, and it hurt a little bit, but that just means I have prints ready to go whenever anyone wants them. I don't have to print them off as people order them, so you know, the time was not wasted, it was just a little disappointing. So the prints won't go to waste because I can still sell them in my online shop, and the tent and the tables and the setup and everything won't go to waste because I do plan on doing more in-person markets now that this is my full-time thing, but I still could have used that confidence boost having my first thing go kind of well. But It's alright, we're past that. I was actually so excited for the art market and I felt so prepared that I spent the few days leading up to it just walking around in nature. My old apartment was in a good spot where there were a lot of nice hiking trails that weren't like too hardcore heavy hiking, but also like they were still really pretty and really nice hikes and around water, which in my book makes a hike 10 out of 10. I also got to start working on the second of my fancy cat portraits. Unfortunately, the first one is not in this video, but you can find it on my Instagram. But since I didn't get the cats in the breakup, I wanted to do really fancy portraits of them, and I was putting off starting the second one because I needed to get ready for the market, and then I was ready, so I finally got to start painting it. I also went to help out my old job, help them get the Christmas show set up because it's kind of difficult and I knew what I was doing. And I also did my first freelance scenic artist job at the theater that I had been at for the past 4 years. So that was really cool. But then the work and the art market were done, so it was time to focus on moving again. I did a quick touch-up of my bangs just because I was, feeling myself in the moment. And then I had a weekend left to get all of my stuff packed up and move to my new place and the old apartment cleaned, which even though I had already moved a lot of my stuff earlier in October when I had the time, I was left to realize that I had a lot of stuff and not a lot of time to get it out of the apartment. And I was left all by myself with all these emotions again, so I had to work through those, but I was in a much better place than I was at the beginning of the month because of just my friends and being able to be around people that actually cared about me. I feel like I did so much growing personally in October, and I'm in a much better place than I was in August and September. My ex actually came over to help do the last cleaning touches on the apartment, which was really nice because I was a little mad about having to clean up some of his messes. But when we were done, we locked up the door and said goodbye, and that was that. And while I wish I didn't have to pack up my entire life and change everything all at once, sometimes these things just happen. I was starting to like the life I was living, but now I get to build a new life, and I hope I'll like that one too. Life is unpredictable, and I'm excited to see where it goes now. So that was it. That was my October. It doesn't have everything just because I'm still trying to get used to filming things, and a lot of things ended up being filmed for TikTok instead of being filmed for this, so if you want to see the bits that weren't included here, you can check out my TikTok. I'm already sort of working on my next vlog, which will be moving in, because this one ends with me closing out my last apartment. So if you want to see what I do with my new place and how I settle in, check out the next one whenever that comes.